G'day guys, Dakaji Down Under here. In today's video, we will be talking about this guy right here. This is the SH MonsterArts Spacegodzilla, the third figure in the SH MonsterArts line. We're going to talk about its size, we're going to talk about its detail, we're going to talk about its accessories and all of that good stuff. Let's get right into the video. So, taking a quick look at Spacegodzilla while it's spinning around on that turntable, guys. As you can clearly see, Spacegodzilla here looks absolutely incredible. The general design aesthetic of Spacegodzilla here is really nice. The character itself is captured beautifully with that sculpt. The details are great, and for the most part, so is the paint. So we'll get a closer look at Spacegodzilla and we'll talk about all of that stuff. We'll talk about the aesthetics, the paint, the sculpt, and then we'll move into articulation. Alrighty guys, so we're trying a little bit of a different camera angle on this one, just so I can really show you all of those details there without the camera losing too much focus. As you can see, the sculpt work on Spacegodzilla is phenomenal. All of those details are very nice, very crisp. Looking at the chest there, you can just see all of those intricate sort of marks there on the musculature, on his abs, on his pecs there. You've got this sort of belly, I don't even know, this ornamental sort of shape here. You've got the neck as well. All of that detail just on that sort of red fleshy bit of Spacegodzilla is sculpted absolutely incredibly. Same with those shoulder pylons here, guys. You can see just the skin that sort of erupts with the spine there, the crystal. That looks absolutely incredible, and you've got some really nice paintwork in there as well. You've got like a deep, almost fleshy sort of pinkish red in there with some glow on top of that, and then same with the actual base of the crystal here. Some nice deep red in there with a glow on top of that. A little bit of a gloss inside those crevices as well. A little bit of a gloss over the whole figure, but it does look very nice. Normally I'm not the biggest fan of gloss on figures, but on Spacegodzilla here, it looks incredible. Moving back onto the head, guys, you can also just see how absolutely incredible that paint job is. Those eyes especially, they look absolutely incredible here on Spacegodzilla. A nice deep orange there. That sort of crystal crown, the king of space if you will. That looks really nice too, cast in a nice translucent yellow. Moving on, those claws as well, guys. Again, just those skin details, absolutely incredible. We'll move on to the legs of Spacegodzilla as well, and you can see, just like the Heisei Godzilla before him, you've got that very nice defined musculature there with the actual sculpted scales and stuff over the top of those. You've got Spacegodzilla's characteristic knee sort of elements. I don't know what you call these, knee guards, knee whatever. Those look very nice, very cool. The sculpted detail on those are incredible there, guys. Same with the feet as well, and I absolutely love the touch of purple that sort of bleed into Spacegodzilla there as well. So you go from white to purple there on the claws. That's very nice. That's present on this other foot as well. And again, that just looks really cool. The tail, same thing, guys. Absolutely incredible amounts of detail there. You've got some sculpted detail underneath those joint segments as well. And you've even got more of that sort of shimmering purple onto those spines there, those crystals. And they look absolutely fantastic. They're nice and pearlescent as they should be. They just look absolutely incredible. And yet you still also have all of that paint and sculpted detail work in between them as well. So that looks very nice. The general aesthetic of Spacegodzilla is incredible. The sculpt is absolutely amazing. This thing looks almost like a shrunken down statue. It's that cool. It might not be the most suit accurate. I remember Spacegodzilla in the movie being a little chunkier, if that makes sense, but the general aesthetic and the overall vibe of Spacegodzilla is definitely captured there. I mean, look at the end of that tail there, guys. The crystals on that, absolutely beautiful. Nice and sharp, nice pearlescent there with that sort of metallic pinkish purple underneath and sort of near the base on all of those. And that's absolutely incredible. That's incredible attention to detail. Spacegodzilla sculpt-wise looks absolutely incredible. Paint-wise, absolutely incredible, guys. There's lots of shading, lots of variation on Spacegodzilla. You've even got some sort of shadows and whatnot in between those sort of musculature bits there. Space Godzilla looks absolutely incredible, and it doesn't really matter what angle you have Space Godzilla in. Just me having him sort of spinning around in the air, guys, you can see from pretty much every angle, Space Godzilla looks absolutely insane. And I think a part of that is just the design of Space Godzilla itself. It's just such a cool design. It doesn't really matter. Could have him sort of at this angle here and he looks great. You can have him sort of from below there and he looks great. You can sort of have a over the shoulder sort of spine-ish pose. It looks great. Something like that. It doesn't matter. Space Godzilla looks absolutely incredible at every single angle you look at him. Even on the bottom of the figure, guys, you've got that nice sort of pinkish skin color that transitions down the bottom of the tail there. And you've even got some sculpted elements on the bottom of the feet. There is not a single bit of detail that is unaccounted for on this figure. Space Godzilla looks absolutely incredible. Let's take a look at that articulation. Alrighty guys, articulation on this guy is pretty good. It could be a little better. Part of that is because of the character's design itself. I mean, you're not really going to get much out of the shoulders, but again, the figure itself is a little lacking in some areas. So the head has two joints, two ball joints there. You can get a decent amount out of those. You can sort of twist and move that head there. The head might fall off on your figure. It is a known issue with Space Godzilla. In fact, if I do this more enough, there you go. You can see that it is going to come off there. The jaw has a very nice hinge, opens pretty wide, closes pretty wide. So that's pretty much all you get in the top there. You have just a pretty limited sort of ab crunch area here, not too much in the torso there. Now, the elbows are double jointed, so you can actually get Space Godzilla's arms up pretty high, which is nice, and straight out, which is also nice. And there is a ball joint up in those shoulders there, but you're not getting too much out of that. Most of your movement is coming from those elbows. Now, the hips on this figure are actually pretty decent. You can get a pretty decent spread on Space Godzilla here. The knees, double jointed knees there. You also have a double joint in the calf there. So you have a calf hinge and you have a ball joint at the base of the leg. So you can actually get some really nice sort of pivots and spreads and stuff just by using Space Godzilla's feet alone, which is very, very nice. And then the tail, like the SH MonsterArts norm, this thing has a lot of articulation, but unfortunately because of the sculpt, you can't really bend it and twist it too much. I mean, you can get a little bit out of it, but not quite as much as you might want. And that's pretty much it for articulation, guys. So Space Godzilla is a little limited, but again, the character itself was a little limited in the movie. So for me personally, it's not that big of a deal. For accessories, Space Godzilla comes with the Corona Beam. This looks absolutely incredible. The sculpted detail on this is really, really nice. You do have those spiraling energy effects there, sort of helixing around each other, and that does look very, very cool. It's cast in a translucent plastic with a pearlescent sort of goldish orange sprayed over the top there, and that does really bring this effect to life. It looks really, really nice. You even have some additional detail right at the base there. And speaking of bases, this thing also comes with this here. This is the base for the Corona Beam. And as you can see, this is also really, really nice. You've got some nice textured rock sort of sculpted details there, as well as those absolutely awesome looking crystals, which again are cast in translucent plastic and spray painted silver. So let's assemble this Corona Beam and see what it looks like on Space Godzilla. And here's how that effect looks with the SH MonsterArts Spacegodzilla. That looks absolutely incredible. The beam there looks really, really nice next to Space Godzilla, and that base definitely helps sell the effect. Now, if you have the SH MonsterArts Little Godzilla, that figure comes with some nice crystals. I do have that figure, so let's bring those crystals in and elevate this display even more. There we go, guys. Now that looks absolutely incredible with those 4 extra crystals there. And I've got Space Godzilla a little closer to the ground, making use of that great ankle articulation to help give Space Godzilla a very nice dynamic pose there. Now, let's move into some size comparisons. Alrighty guys, for size comparisons, on the left here we have the Higher Toys Godzilla 2014 figure. And then on the right here we have the SH MonsterArts Mogira. This is another figure that I'll be taking a look at shortly, so subscribe for that one. And here we have the SH MonsterArts Spacegodzilla next to the original SH MonsterArts Godzilla and the SH MonsterArts Little Godzilla. Alright guys, that about wraps up today's video. We've taken a look at the figure, we've looked at its paint, we've looked at its detail, we've looked at the articulation, and we've even done some size comparisons. So let me know down in the comment section below, do you like this figure here? Is it a good SH MonsterArts figure? Does it hold up to the SH MonsterArts standard, or is it kind of showing its age? And while you're down there, also let me know, do you think Spacegodzilla belongs in the Monsterverse? Will Spacegodzilla make a great future Monsterverse villain? I'd love to hear from you guys. If you've made it this far, please consider subscribing, like the video, comment, all of that stuff really does help me out. I've been Dark Kaiju Down Under, and I'll see you all in the next video.